Assalamu alaikum everybody. Naeem here with another video cast along with my partner in crime. I'll let you guess who's the better looking one. Hey, I want to talk about two things today. I've seen some questions around what is the requirement for a company to do business on Amazon in terms of registration. So it's actually fairly straightforward, but there are a few things that you need to know about. So number one, can you do business without having a registered company? Yes, actually you can. If you have a regular Amazon account, you can easily switch that to a pro account. If you just Google that or go to Amazon and search, they show you step-by-step how to sign up for a pro account versus a regular Amazon shopper account. So they don't require that you are a company registered or anything like that. Now, what you need to do and what you should be doing are two different things. So in terms of doing business, if you talk to your accountant, he will or she will tell you the first thing you need to do is to register a company before a single transaction, because legally you have to pay taxes on even your first sale. And so in order to do that, you should have a legal entity, which could be an LLC, which could be a DBA, which could be a Corp C, Corp S, you know, whatever the type of company that makes sense for you. Now, do most people do that? No, usually people don't. I didn't do that either. And the reason why is because in order to get a corporation, it typically costs anywhere from $400 to $600. Yeah, I got a DBA after a month. But it costs $400 to $600 to go ahead and get yourself incorporated through companies like LegalZoom. They do it pretty cheaply. I use them. I have no affiliation with them. And I didn't want to incur that cost right up front before I, even rolled out of the gate, so to speak. So what I did was I basically just operated under my own name, but I went to my state office and signed up for what's known as a DBA, which is short for doing business as, and that's available in in any state, any county in the U.S. Overseas, I know the rules are a little different. I don't think you could do that. I think you do need to be registered to do business here, etc., etc. But that's a separate topic. So for Americans, you need to go get yourself a DBA, and that basically says that you as an individual are doing business under that name. So doing business as whatever the name of your company is, ABC company, okay? That's really all you need to get started, and a DBA typically costs $25, $30. It's very cheap. And that makes it official. That'll keep your accountant happy, that'll keep Amazon happy, and you're off and running. Now, the next step is once you start hitting regular sales, once you start seeing sales of a regular amount, regular frequency, and I would say for most people it's after they've launched their first product, maybe even second product, maybe 6 months down the road, then you really need to think about getting yourself a corporation. And the reason why is liability. So my plan is to do that within the next 30 days, and maybe 30, 60 days. I tend to be a little lazy about these things, but I shouldn't. So the reason why you want to get a legal entity or a legal corporation is because of liability. If you're selling a product, let's say a bathroom scale or something, right? And somebody buys it, and we live in a trigger lawsuit world today. And somebody steps on the weight scale, and because they weigh 500 pounds, they slip, and I'm just kidding, but if they get on the scale and they slip, it's a bathroom, it's a slippery surface or whatever, and they get hurt, you know, it's very likely that if they're looking to sue, they're going to come after you. And obviously, if that happens, it's a terrible thing. But if you don't have a legal corporation, they're going to go after you personally. So what a legal corporation does is basically separates the liability between you and your business. And so if they do come after you or your business, ABC Company, then they can go after all the assets in ABC Company, but they can't come after you personally, your home, your cars, your wealth, you know, your savings. They can't touch any of that. So it's pretty much a requirement for any business in the US or globally that does business. When they get serious, you want to protect yourself and your assets. The other thing a corporation will do is there are tax implications, and that can be significant. You don't want all income and everything tied to you personally, but that's more of a topic for an accountant and a conversation you need to have with your accountant. The types of corporation that you want to register yourself with, same thing. There's some reasoning behind getting an LLC. I think actually all corporations start as an LLC, and then they will automatically upgrade that to a Corp C, Corp S.
They don't automatically. You have to apply for that.
Okay, you have to apply for it, so I stand corrected. But there's a reason why you want to get an LLC versus a Corp C versus a Corp S. Each one of those has a implication on your personal taxes, very, very important that you sort that out. Any good accountant or attorney, if you have one, will be able to help you out and figure out what's the right one for your situation. And it's very complicated because maybe you've got other businesses and you don't want to merge the two. You want to keep the liability separate, etc. So, number one, do you need a company to start business? No, you can start it today under your name. Second step, go get yourself a DBA, and that's basically going to let you do business and keep the tax man happy. Number three, when it is time to take that next step and you've got some sales going after 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, then step it up to a corporation, which is a Corp C or Corp S or LLC, etc. Now, also, one of the questions that was raised is where should you incorporate? In Delaware, and there's a few other states that are very, very tax friendly to corporations. And again, there's some implications there. I've had a company incorporated in Delaware. I've got a couple of corporations in Texas. I actually had some advantages by doing it in Delaware, but then I moved everything back to Texas just because it made sense in my circumstance. But again, these are things that you need to really speak with a professional about and sort out what makes sense for you. But just to get started, don't get overwhelmed. Just to get started, just go ahead and get going. You know, don't worry about all this stuff. But save this video because in 3 months you should visit it when you start doing some good business, and then have that conversation with your accountant. And then the last thing is, guys, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm just a desi business guy who was very lucky and blessed, and I'm not in a situation to give legal advice. I'm just giving you my personal experiences. So obviously, you know, consult with an accountant, with an attorney. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. All right, guys, happy selling.